All right, so the coin we are covering today is Solana once again, and it is continuing the nice run up it's had over the past couple months. It's currently one of the only projects up today, about 5% to $47.36. And we did a video on Solana a few weeks ago, and at that time it was only $27.61. So a nice bit of growth in market cap during an overall down period for the market. Solana it's cracked the top 20, and I predict it will crack the top 10 in the next 60 days. Obviously, not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor, but the amount of momentum they are starting to see within the developer community is pretty amazing. Currently, we have the Solana Season Hackathon going on, which includes over 7,000 developers competing for $1 million in seed funding. That's going on from now until June 7th, and has been that's kind of been one of the only impediments to the growth of the Solana ecosystem. There had been a stigma in the developer community that the learning curve was too steep. I've even heard Box Mining and others echo that sentiment. So the Solana team, and I suspect Sam Bankman-Fried, forking up funds to further incentivize development that's a great thing to see. I speculate, of course, it's Sam, but he's been a huge backer of Solana and has a decent chunk of his $10 billion fortune at play here. And he's heavily incentivized in making Solana a viable challenger to Ethereum. If you aren't familiar with Sam Bankman-Fried, he's the Deca billionaire crypto investor and CEO and founder of FTX. He is also the founder of Alameda Research, which has heavily been investing in building out the Solana ecosystem. But with 65,000 transactions per second versus 18 transactions per second on Ethereum, you can certainly see why it continues to skyrocket in adoption and interest and market cap. Solana plans to increase that throughput to 500,000 transactions per second, which puts it in the running to grab a large share of the traditional payments market potentially that's owned by the likes of Visa and MasterCard and others. But the team is super stacked and very strong as well. They are led by Anatoly Yakovenko, who brought a bunch of his former team members over from years of working at Qualcomm. And they are currently just over 50 developers and operators strong, working all remotely and distributed across the globe. So, time will tell. We'll see if proof of history ends up being the way forward. But for now, the project, seems to be full speed ahead. Literally, not well, yeah, no pun intended. But basically, the speed of light is how fast they're working to get the network operating here. But yeah, just tons of potential here for Solana. Our price prediction still remains the same. Things have run up a bit since we started covering it a few months ago. But it's at $13 billion today. We think $26 billion is certainly doable in the next 60 to 90 days. Certainly by the end of the year. I think we predicted early on that this could unseat one of the, Binance Smart Chains. Cardano's one of the other players in the top 10 right now. And we think that's very possible. No telling who it could be. But we do think the top 10 is certainly in its sights for Solana. But let me know what you guys think of the project. What do you think of Sam Bankman-Fried's involvement? I certainly think that's a huge plus for them, having some of the deepest pockets in the ecosystem, investing in them, and him being very heavily incentivized to build out this ecosystem. We think that's huge. It's just huge potential for Solana. But yeah, give us your thoughts on Solana, your thoughts on proof of history, if you think that's going to be the way forward or viable in the future. And yeah, give us a like and subscribe to the video, download the podcast, do all those cool internet things. And yeah, check out the link down below for BlockFi if you want to check that out. I think it's up to $250 in free Bitcoin bonus when you deposit just over $25, I believe it is. But yeah, check out the details if you're interested in BlockFi. Big fans of BlockFi. I just started working with them. And yeah, I'm just babbling at this point, so I'm going to hit stop recording and leave you guys alone. And we'll be back tomorrow with another coin analysis. Bye-bye.